This week on the Toni Thorne Show, Point Blank features Mr. Ralph Busy Williams and his entrepreneurship journey. Pomposat features St. Kitts and Renaissance fashion events. Tell It to Toni is newly revamped and the popular tea time is back. Welcome to the Toni Thorne Show, and I'm here sitting next to Mr. Ralph Busy Williams. He is the chairman of Williams Industries. Thank you so much for joining me.
It's a pleasure.
Now, your name is Ralph Busy Williams. Tell me about that name, Busy, because you are a business magnate, a Barbadian and Caribbean business magnate. How did that name come around?
I'm an electrical engineer. An electrical engineer knows what a magnet is. I'm not a magnet. I'm just a guy who fiddles around and does some business.
Okay, how did the name Busy come about?
Well, I am the last of 9 children. My father was a war veteran from the First World War. When I was born, I was the biggest baby in the family. I was also the last. And since my father was a war kind of person, he followed the military. The German battleship Bismarck was terrorizing everybody at the time. So they called me Bismarck to start with. And that got shortened to Busy, you know.
So how did you get into business?
Look, I came out of university and went to work at Empty Electric. And I was assigned as an electrical engineer to the maintenance of sugar factories and so on. And I worked there for a number of years. And then I went to the West India Biscuit Company as the development engineer to try to help the general manager, Mr. Hood at the time, automate the place and make it more efficient. And then one day my brother called and asked if I would join his company as workshop manager. But by then I was already doing a lot of business. The reason I left the biscuit factory was because I wanted to develop a profit center within the factory. That was an engineering thing, and the general manager felt that we really are in business to make biscuits, not to make money. So when my brother asked me to join C.O. Williams Construction, I joined as his workshop manager and brought my little businesses along with me.
Did you ever expect that you would build a business that is so successful when you first started out?
I never set out to be anything. Opportunities cropped up and I seized the opportunities. That's all there is to it. I never saw myself as any great entrepreneur or anything so. I just did what came naturally.
What drives you?
Well, the first company I started was building racing cars. And what drove me to do that was that I couldn't afford to buy a racing car. I used to build racing engines for guys. And I started building go-kart racing engines. And then I got into building a famous racing car that Andrew Phillips used to drive, was the Ventura. I built the engine for that, and it produced tremendous amount of power. And then, I don't know, it just seemed like a natural thing to do various things. And the racing car company, I needed to go faster than the other guys, so the only way to do it was to build your own car.
I found something interesting that you just said. You couldn't afford. So I want to be able to understand you didn't grow up with money.
No, I didn't grow up with money.
That's important to understand.
When I was born, our family didn't own any land in Barbados at all. None.
Let's talk about Red Jet and the risk that you took.
Oh boy, that was something else. We traveled a lot by Liat all through the islands, and the service was not, as you know, Liat has doesn't have a good reputation. So when I was approached by the Irish guys to join with them to form Redjet, I thought it was a very good thing to do. Of course, the business plan was based on the airline being able to fly to the United States. And in order to be able to fly to the United States, we had to have Category 1 status in Barbados, which the government said that they would be able to get. And it was left to them to get Category 1. So we went ahead and got the airplanes and set up the company and so on. And then the government didn't get Category 1 status. So we could not fly to the United States. So the backbone of Redjet really was an early morning departure to Fort Lauderdale, fly from there back to Port-au-Prince in Haiti, back to Fort Lauderdale, and back in the evening to Barbados. So the plane would always stay in Barbados. So that really broke the back of the airline.
Do you regret getting involved in Redjet?
I do, yes. I regret it because it cost my shareholders a lot of money. I'm not the sole owner of Williams Industries. We have 200 odd shareholders. Most of our company is set up in such a way that only people who can contribute to the profitability or to thing of the company can own shares. So I thought it really affected me very badly.
You do business in Barbados and the Caribbean.
Yeah.
What are the frustrations that you get doing business in Barbados and the Caribbean that you would like to see eradicated over a period of time?
I am seeing a trend in Barbados that everything, it seems to me, people want to control you, everything that you do. And it just frustrates you. I have some town planning issues where it is obvious to any right-thinking person, in my opinion, that approval should be given, but conditions are set that are totally not logical, and I don't understand why. There are some people in Barbados who just don't like to see other people succeed. And they have a grouse with the way I live, what I do, who I associate with. I don't know what it is, but they just don't like to see you succeed.
What do you think makes a good entrepreneur?
A willingness to take responsibility when things go wrong, and to give credit to the people who are surrounding him when things go right. And of course, you gotta have some vision, and you gotta have a risk-taking view of life.
Your wife is a prominent judge on Buying Company, and you have sought to invest in a lot of young businesses in Barbados. What determines you investing in a business? What's the profile that you look at for determining whether you invest in something?
Well, whether the person that is involved is willing to be realistic. Some people just have their heads in the clouds. They come with the strangest ideas, but if somebody looks to me as though they're realistic and they got their feet planted on the ground, they have a good idea, I'll try and help them.
Would you say you're a simple person at the core?
Very, definitely. And the most basic things, look, entrepreneurship and business is not difficult. Huh? It's very straightforward as long as you follow the right rules.
And those rules are?
It's all here in this book. That little book I wrote.
Thank you.
One time they invited me to come and speak at the University of the West Indies many years ago, and I wrote that book the night before.
Safeguard your credibility. Be honest with your banker.
Yeah. If you got a problem in your business, the first person, your banker going to find out anyhow. So you might as well call the banker first. You could call your wife second.
The secret to success is to give more for less. Find ways to do that.
Right. Now, if we are every single day, the mandate of everybody in Williams Industries is to find ways to reduce costs, to be more efficient, and so on.
Where would you like to see Barbados in the next 10 years?
Boy, I would like, Barbados is a beautiful country. I would like to see Barbados in the next 10 years importing oil for transportation only, and only for transportation where it's absolutely necessary. In my opinion, Barbados could be powered entirely from the sun and the wind, and the vehicles could all be electric. I drive an electric car, I don't drive anything else, and I love it.
Is your view on leaving a legacy? You personally leaving a legacy?
I would like people to remember me as an honest, straightforward guy, that's all, who treated people with respect and never cut corners to fool people, and just straightforward.
Well, I wanted to think of all kinds of different slogans to refer to Mr. Williams as, but he said to just refer to him as just another entrepreneur. And I really want to thank you and your lovely wife for allowing this interview. And I'm very sure that you've spoken to someone that will be watching this episode, and to the masses out there. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad I could share some stuff with you.
Yeah.
The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. This is where you belong. Over the years, we've cared for you to help you meet your needs. Trustworthy, dependable, so you can grow financially. The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. Excellent service, all values strong. Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. This is where you belong.
Feels like I'm going under. I just wanna rise. I just wanna rise. I just wanna rise. I just wanna I just wanna rise. One, two, three. No hard feelings, I'm barely breathing. Please release me from this cage. No leave.
Whenever you talk about Caribbean fashion, this man here is a name that you cannot forget. Calvin S. from Antigua. Tell us, how long have you been in designing?
Well, this is my 25th anniversary, so what I showed tonight was a showcase of vintage stuff and new stuff, you know, to give you a feel of what I do, because, you know, I also do costumes as well, so I did some elaborate headpieces as hats. And, you know, I was very excited about coming to celebrate with Brunel, because she was one of the first, you know, she was a model of mine before, then she turned businesswoman, and now she's doing her business. I want to help her back and give back to the people of St. Kitts, so I'm very happy to be here.
What's next for you? When is your next collection?
Well, my next collection comes out. I'm getting ready to go to New York for Fashion Week. So I want to be there in Fashion Week in February of 2015.
This is May Wave from Chic Caribbean Magazine, and you're watching The Toni Thorne Show.
Flavor of the week is vanilla. It is creamy, delicious, and possibly the best ice cream you will ever have. Distributed by Brighton Stokes Island-wide.
I just wanna rise. I just wanna rise.
Motion CPR Treatment Conditioner. Ideal for breakage-prone hair, this deep moisturizing treatment instantly strengthens and repairs the hair shaft. Motion CPR Treatment Conditioner will help to restore hair's health and vibrancy with one application. Deeply nourishes the hair with a blend of natural African herbs. For more fabulous product information, visit www.motionshair.com or Bryden Stokes.
People all over are savoring the aromatic goodness of the country's favorite tea. Lipton is your brighter day in every cup. Enjoy the rich, uplifting taste and aroma. Perfect anytime, any place. Lipton Yellow Label. Get the feeling anytime, anywhere. And try our new green tea with superfruit.
Welcome to the Lipton sponsored Tea Time segment, and I had a great evening discussing entrepreneurship with 5 brilliant Barbadian minds. And just take a look at it. It was a really good evening, and I'm sure that you would have learned something or be inspired by one of the stories that happened to be told. Mr. Dane Sadler, thank you so much, Dane, for joining me.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
And CEO of Duresque, Miss Latoya Daniel, Mr. Corey McLean, founder and creative director of Sit Smoothie Bar. We have Mr. Ryan Wills, who is the managing editor of Dazzle Magazine, which is a magazine for young entrepreneurs. Love it. And also Miss Chanel Eswick, who is one of the founders of I Heart Makeup, the popular makeup services brand. Thank you so much for joining me, Chanel.
Thank you for having me.
Why do we think that more persons are seeing entrepreneurship as a viable career option? Dane, you can start. We can go around this way.
Well, personally for me, I went into entrepreneurship to get away from all the political crap that used to go on in organizations.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the kitchen, and to get promoted, you basically had to be a yes man, and that was never me. So I had chefs under me there for 5-6 years, never get promoted, and people running back with news get promoted 3 times in 1 year. So I guess people tired. A lot of people have the passion, but they don't see it as a career. And I guess seeing persons like yourself and Ryan step out and take it, that too, take a chance. A lot of people saying biting the bullet and going for it.
Thank you. Latoya.
Well, for me, I think it's a lack of opportunity in the workforce. I know a lot of university students who have, you think education is the key to everything, and it is, don't get me wrong, but it has been very difficult finding a job, even for myself. So when the company I was working for relocated to America, then I started thinking, what's my passion, what I love to do, that I could actually turn into something that could make money and become a business. I find many young people now are trying to do that because it's really hard out there finding a job. Yeah.
Good point. Corey.
I think it's 2 things. One is necessity, so kind of like what Latoya alluded to, which is the availability of jobs. Because in these times, bigger businesses are downsizing, they're scaling back, and people are losing their jobs. And what some people are doing is that as a result of that, then they're going the entrepreneurship route, working for themselves and whatnot. On the other hand, is more sexy. Mm-hmm. More acceptable now as a career option, because we would have come up in a time, and even before us, where entrepreneurship meant unemployed. Mm-hmm. So
for some people it still does.
Exactly. So it's more acceptable now that you can go to your parents and say, I want to own my own business. I want to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. I have an experience where after I started my business, I had a cousin that came to me very concerned, and she was like, Corey, this could pay you. You're a smart boy. You could get a government job.
It's an expression, it's an individual expression that young people are showing every day. I think before, in at least my time and before, we were constricted to this belief of going through the system and becoming this or that. But the reality is that there are young people today that believe that their idea can change the world, that SIPs could become the next biggest thing throughout the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And that cannot happen if they are constricted in an office environment. So I really see it is more coming out now because people want to express their individuality, and it's a beautiful thing, but it of course has to be guided. So the next step is you have the passion, now how do you get there?
Honestly, I think it's like a bit of what everybody said. Is like you have people like Dan who like no, I gotta get the workforce, and then like for me it was I couldn't find. At first I was like applying for jobs and then realized I spent them like my last money on buying stamps and stuff to post out to get rejection. I was like, no, there's something that I should do. And then as he said, people want to express like their talent and find out as young people want to change the world. And then also with the economic situation, we have people who are in the workforce who like before always had something that they could always do. People could do basketry, could do hair. I said, no, you know what? I need this extra income now, and I can start a business even if it's me only working on weekends, because people now need that extra income, and I think that's where the boost comes to, with the lack of spendable income now, and how the economic situation currently is.
Okay, what do you think are some of the main challenges of young entrepreneurs?
I think one of them is support, as Corey pointed out earlier. The adults, they always thought like entrepreneurship means unemployment. So like for some people, when you go and you say, well, you know, I want to be a fashion designer. Like parents don't see as like a fashion designer. Oh, that's not a job. You understand? Because they still have that focus. So they a lot of, they don't have the support.
What is the difference between a hustler and an entrepreneur?
There's no difference.
I see a difference.
I see big
A
difference.
hustler is a man that got 20 DVDs this weekend and he's selling. And when done. An entrepreneur now guys set a stand, got about 50 DVDs and keep replicating, so it's a continuous process.
Personally, I think it's a matter of respect. Respect for your venture. A hustle is, this is what we're doing, and bam,
We get
right?
money.
We make it. We bought that money, right? I chasing money. And if this week I selling yellow cups and that's where the money is, bam, we selling
HMM.
You see, in entrepreneurship, there are different types of entrepreneurs. There's the serial, there's the social. So when you break down entrepreneurship at that level, there obviously is a difference. To me, a hustler is that person that has the mentality that they're going to wake up and make money that same day.
Right.
An entrepreneur, on the other hand, is going to put a plan in place about how. So their goals are more long term.
Right.
So why you don't see a difference is because at the end of the day, you're making money for yourself. So you're entrepreneurial still.
Right.
But if you break it down, all these different types of entrepreneurs, but at the end of the day, that hustler is going home with money in their pocket at the end of the day. I may not be going home with money. I may going home with money at the end of the year.
Yeah, but the hustler got money in a year still?
Yes, the hustler will still have, because their mentality is they're going to wake up every day and they're going to do it and they're going to do it and they're going to do it and they're going to do it. So that's how my breathing down is.
To me, an entrepreneur is a hustler with a plan, you know. The difference is as you say, but you see what all of me think. The difference is, if I am just a hustler, is like you got some flash stats, I got some. All right, again, in sell these today, going for tongue. That's what you're doing. Right. But entrepreneur be like, all right, I can buzz Toni. I can see what Toni doing. Cause if not, say she could prop warrants and she could sell these for me. We thinking her traffic activities on the side of it. We ain't only thinking town. We thinking warrants, Sheraton, Quayside. We want everything. And then we can meet at the end of the day. So I think that there ain't really no difference. It's just that the entrepreneur, we got a plan, but the hustler don't really do it. It's just like they just making it. They got a plan, but it's not.
I can take your point.
I think like the hustler in the box.
Why does our society beat down the appearance of success?
That's another thing too, because recently I have had a lot of airplay in terms of media attention. And
congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. But they kind of play off as though I'm successful, and I'm far from successful.
Just because
I'm now starting,
TV
and
don't calculate the bank.
as you guys would know, it's important for marketing and it's a part of branding, but it does not necessarily mean financial success.
Yes.
Right.
And then it's a very scary thing sometimes because Bajans have a tendency to say,
Yes.
oh, you're making all of that.
Yes.
Well, you don't need me. I'm
Yeah.
not supporting you. So it's very iffy here, whereas sometimes internationally you might find the bigger you appear, the more people want to come to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here it could go opposite.
Another thing is I would like Barbadians to separate. Well, at some point we are our business. I want Barbadians to separate the person from the business. Because my thing is
It depends on what you do though.
it depends, obviously, right? But okay, like for instance, if I have a good example. Like say I got in a brawling tone. Like I ain't got a brawling tone, but say I got in a brawling tone. There are Barbadians who will say, she can't do my makeup. Because she and a girl for you tone side her. Not me and she. No. Because that's how some people are. Instead, it's not about, for them, it's not the quality or the finish or anything. They don't care how good I can do makeup. I was fighting like, no, but
That's small.
But we live in a small country, so
we live in a small country. But the thing, but these are things that I hear and that has happened.
So you got into a brawl or you didn't get into
No.
Just want to be clear because we on TV.
Because people try to avoid it, but black people don't like to see black people get through, and that's the truth. Are you sure people out there saying Toni Thorne TV no AHG? Alright. Or Chanel doing every boy makeup.
Yeah.
Or you see Dan cooking for this boy. And he can't get my money, no?
Yeah.
It's a network. People form network, and network build relationships, and relationships build finance. And that's what people need to see.
It's my hope that our generation, in not choosing the traditional banker, lawyer, doctor, and if you choose to do that, you think beyond. So instead of just wanting to be a lawyer, you think of being some kind of lawyer that's out of the box. Or instead of choosing to be a doctor, you choose to open the biggest plastic surgery operation in the Caribbean. And I think it's up to our generation to really think a lot bigger than our parents, because I believe that the children must always perfect on what the parents have done.
When you think about it, everything should be above average. So just my leaving thought with entrepreneurs that want to step in this game, don't come on a substandard level, come above average.
I would add is that sometimes people let competition, like other entrepreneurs in the market, get to them. There is enough people for everybody. Don't only think on a local level. Think regional, think international.
I am so glad that you guys decided to join me this evening to discuss this concept and to discuss entrepreneurship in Barbados. And I'm very sure that you would have inspired at least one of these viewers to, if they want to leave their crappy job and start their own cake business or start a business, they can do that. Latoya, you've taken a lot of risk, and I am really, really impressed with the journey that you've had. Sips, you know, when that van was stationary and you started with those smoothies. The van ain't had no wheels, no nothing like that. But I am so happy to see how far you've come. No, like Ryan, continue to highlight entrepreneurs, and I think what you may not know it, and I hope you do, but the platform that you're giving to so many young entrepreneurs is priceless. Chanel, I want to wish you all the best as you beat those faces to the gods, Hunter. Thank you so much for joining me, guys, and thank you for watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed this segment of Tea Time. God bless.
Oh wait, babe, don't forget we got the $6 Tuesdays here.
$6 Tuesday and Toni Thorne show me on at 8. You gotta be making sport.
I hate Toni Thorne.